I'm Suzie and I'm here with True Body Project as one of the programs from the Well.World. And we're going to be making Oobleck today to have a sensory experience. So you might have heard the word Oobleck before. It actually came from a Dr. Seuss book, but it is actually been created into a recipe of 2 parts cornstarch to 1 part water, and then sometimes we just have to figure out what ends up being the best texture. So we're doing this today again as a sensory experience once we've made it, because it's this not quite a liquid, not quite a solid substance, and it's really helpful in demonstrating even just how we have these interactions, not only with our physical world, but with people that we're meeting and interacting with. And it shows that if you're really quick to come into something or really quick to pull yourself out of something, really reactive or anything like that, that sometimes it doesn't quite work. You can get stuck or you can't get actually in the way that you'd like to with these interactions with people in your community. But then if you yield, if you meet and merge slowly and mindfully, that you can get in as well as there's an ease of pulling away where everybody feels good about it. And so it'll make more sense once we're actually doing it and once you get to feel how cool it feels. So we have all of our supplies here. I have a little lid, or you can have a plate or something that you're just putting dirty stuff on to hold it there. But we have just regular cornstarch that I bought from the store. You might already have this at home. If you have the True Body kits, a lot of them already come with a ball jar, and you'll notice on the side that it has measurements. So you could have a measuring cup with water or your cornstarch, or you could measure things in one of the ball jars, or if there's a juice cup or a coffee mug at home, you can get approximate measurements with that as well. And as we play with it and stir it around, you can always add a little bit, or of the cornstarch or the water to make it just right. So we're gonna start with a cup of the cornstarch and then see if we need more from there. And I just have, a baking dish from home. You might have something that you make brownies in, like an 8x8 tray or a glass dish. You just want it to be big enough that you can set your whole hand in it. So go ahead and pour this. Oh, and you might want to do it in your kitchen too. I'm doing it at a studio, but since it can get a little messy sometimes, having it in a kitchen or a place that's really easy to clean up after yourself can be really helpful. So we have about a cup of cornstarch here. Now go ahead and dump it in. And then I'm gonna pour a half a cup of water in here. All right. And then start to mix it around together. All the powdery parts and the watery parts to blend together. You can use a spoon or fork. Stir it all around. All right, so you'll notice it's starting to get thicker. It's almost goopy. You can see the texture there, that there's still some parts that are a little waterier and other parts that are thicker. So since it has the thicker parts, but it's still pretty watery, I'm gonna add a little bit more cornstarch to just try and get that perfect texture. And this will be each person's judgment call. So I'm just gonna take about a quarter cup, so 1/4 cup of cornstarch now, and add that in. And start to blend it as well. All right. So you don't want it to be in big chunks. You still want it to kind of have that liquidy texture, but you don't want it to be soupy. This looks like it'll probably be the right amount once I get it all blended here. You'll feel you can scrape it at the bottom. You can almost cut into it, but then it becomes this liquid looking thing again and smooths over. All right, so that looks like it was about the perfect amount to me. So that was 1 1/4 cup of cornstarch and 1/2 cup of water. So I'll put this aside. And first, as it's settling down a little bit, you can kind of see what it looks like there. And then you can feel it with your finger. And notice that if you try and poke it or hit it, you can't quite get to the bottom. You can't quite get in if you're going in really fast. But if you take your hand and you just rest it on the top of the surface, and you let it ease down, like you're meeting, the Oobleck is meeting you and you are meeting the Oobleck, and your hand gradually just lowers all the way down to the bottom of whatever container you're in. And it feels like that liquid. But then if you try and pull out really quick, it won't let you. The whole thing will lift up. So you have to have that same kind of mindfulness as you're coming out. So that slow softening away, we call it yielding. It's almost like this conversation between the two of you until you slowly are able to come out, and then you don't even see a handprint or anything in there anymore. It just looks like that solid liquid surface. So I'm excited for you to try this at home and for us to talk about what your experience was of it